Hello friends and welcome into College Football Now. I am Tom Down and we have done head coach candidate lists for FSU and Arkansas, but we don't ignore all the small schools either. UNLV, they are next up. Tony Sanchez, he has been fired. Was a great success at Bishop Gorman High School, kind of like Jerry Faust, didn't work out when he made the jump to the FBS level. He's been fired by UNLV. Now, Sanchez will coach the team's final game against Nevada, but they are beginning their search now for a new head coach. And the UNLV job is an interesting one to me. If you just want to look at past success, there's really not much of it. The last bowl game was in 2013. They've been to 4 total, 2 since 1995. It's not an easy job to win at. However, they are trying. The facilities have undergone a major upgrade. They're now going to share the Raiders Las Vegas Stadium, a massive upgrade over Sam Boyd Stadium. And the report is they're willing to pay more in the upper third of their conference. So I don't know how appealing this job is, but I wonder if it's going to be a potential sleeper job for maybe a better coach than some might expect. So before we get into the top 10 candidates here, who should UNLV hire as their head coach? I had a bunch of names on my initial list. I've whittled it down to 10. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. We begin with my number 10. It's a great idea for UNLV. Nick Rolovich, the Hawaii head coach. He's done a great job. I know he's only 500, 3 bowl game berths, and that program had kind of not been the same since June Jones left. It just wasn't working quite as well. The problem for Rolovich and UNLV, Hawaii is his alma mater. He fits that job so well. But UNLV's pitch might be, look, Nick, we're going to commit more, not just to you, but to football. The reality is Hawaii doesn't really invest in the same way UNLV appears willing to. So it's a name to go target. I just don't think he's the most likely. All right, number 9, Jim Mora. If you want a big name coach, this kind of fits the mold. He has NFL and major college football coaching experience. It would be a big hire. It would be a splash hire. That's the term I'm looking for there. If UNLV could somehow lure Mora to take the job in Vegas. I don't know if he wants to take on that job. I don't think Mora was that successful really across the board in his career. There's been some good assistant jobs, but it wasn't that great for Atlanta. Lasted 1 year in Seattle. UCLA was kind of up and then down at the end. So would you want Jim Mora as your head coach? Type Y for yes, N for no. If I were a Pac-12 program, the answer is no. But if I'm UNLV, let's swing for the fences. Worst case is you just try again. It's not the end of the world. All right, number 8, another more notable name on this list. We're going to get to some other guys here, don't worry. Todd Graham. Now, he is a job jumper through and through. That is what Todd Graham is, but he's been out of coaching since he got fired by Arizona State. And unlike most of the options on this list, he's got quite a few list of experience. He was at Rice, 7-6 for just the 1 year. Had success at Tulsa, success they haven't really matched for the most part since then. 1 year at Pitt, then goes to Arizona State, hangs out for a while, but then does get fired. If you're UNLV, and if Graham wants to come back into the coaching game, I think that makes a lot of sense for them because it is a more proven coach. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. At least you're trying with someone with more experience than the high school coach you had before this. Number 7, Marcus Arroyo. He might be higher on other lists out there because he's the Oregon offensive coordinator. That Oregon offense is good, right? I actually don't think the play calling is that great. I think it's actually kind of limiting your playmakers there, but he's only 39 years old, and he's on the path to being a college football head coach somewhere. Again, only 39, and he spent most of his time in this, I'll just call it West Coast region, in this California, Oregon, Nevada type area, and region matters way more for college football than it does in the NFL, especially when it comes to recruiting, which, by the way, you might be able to sell more recruits on Vegas going forward than maybe you were able to in the past. Now, we're getting to the holiday season, so do you need some college football gear for your favorite team? I'm sure you guys do. All teams, tons of gear on sale at chatsports.com/NCAA gear. That's chatsports.com/NCAA gear. Don't worry, the link will be in the description and the comments for you guys. All college football gear is on sale, up to 50% off. And yes, UNLV fans, there's also some UNLV gear on sale. To number 6 then, Jedd Fisch. A name we haven't heard in a while in the college coaching ranks, right? There was a while when Fisch was going to be the next big thing, right? He was the young offensive mind, the OC at Michigan and UCLA and Miami, even Minnesota. And then the stock kind of went up, and then it kind of regressed pretty quickly, almost like Bernie Madoff was in charge of it. Crazy, right? He is right now an assistant offensive coach for the LA Rams. Does he want back in the college game? If he does, kind of think UNLV is a decent landing spot for him. Number 5, the last name you will recognize, I promise you. That is Shane Beamer, right now an assistant head coach and the tight ends coach at Oklahoma. One note on this one. Desiree Reed-Francois, the UNLV athletic director, knows Beamer pretty well. They were both at Virginia Tech together. AD and coaching relationships matter. That could be a factor here. And I think you could do a lot worse if you're UNLV than hiring a guy who's hanging out around Lincoln Riley and is the son of Virginia Tech legend Frank Beamer. Number 4, and I will forgive everybody watching if your initial thought is, who is this guy? This is Troy Taylor, the head coach at Sacramento State. Has been there for just 1 year, but man, has he turned around the program in just that 1 year. In 3 of the previous 4 years, they won 2 games. They won 13 games total before Taylor arrives. He comes in and immediately gets Sacramento State a share of the conference title in the Big Sky and to the FCS playoffs, the first time the program has ever done that. That's pretty quick turnaround, and if you can do it at Sacramento State so quickly, I bet you could do it at UNLV too. Has spent a lot of his time in the state of California. I think he knows the area, coached at Folsom High School, played at Cal, coached at Cal too. Now, he likes Sacramento and likes that city a lot. He spent a surprising amount of his time just at that position or at that city in general. But Taylor could be a good hire if they're willing to go with an FCS coach. So should they consider that? Type B if you think UNLV needs to get an FBS guy, be it a sitting head coach or an assistant or a former head coach. And type C if you're on board with going with an FCS head coach. I'm typing in my C. I think going that level, going with a proven younger guy at a smaller program, makes sense for a team like UNLV. It's not going to be the splashiest hire, but I think it could pay off. And that's why number 3, I've got another FCS coach for you guys. That's Jay Hill, Weber State. 45-29, and that includes, by the way, a 2-10 campaign in his first year. Since then, Hill's got them winning and winning in bunches. 4 straight FCS playoff appearances. That's successful no matter which way you slice it. Now, he has played and coached at Utah for most of his career. So maybe Hill could take the approach of, well, whenever Winningham steps away, I want that Utah job. And if he has success at Weber State and at UNLV, wouldn't he be a pretty strong candidate at that point? I certainly think so. I think it'd be a good hire by UNLV, even if it's not, because FCS the sexiest of hires. Now, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code CFB120. Gets you a 120% deposit bonus. And if you've been betting against UNLV the past couple of years, you've probably made quite a bit of money. This promo code, though, gets you even more of it. 120%, so you put down $50, they give you $60 for free. It's chatsports.com/bet. I like to go risky with my bets because of the upside, and that I think fits the mold for number 2 on our list. That is Scott Turner. UNLV fans might remember him. He is the son of Norv Turner, so you got the bloodlines there if that's a thing for you. And he was also UNLV's quarterback, a backup quarterback, but he's still an alumni, and that's what matters in the end here. He has coached at the college level. Michigan and Pitt, neither were really prominent roles, but he has experience at the college level. This is no doubt a risky move, but it's a fun idea. You go with a young coach who has ties to the program and to the school, and heck, maybe somehow at the end of it, if the Panthers say fire everybody, maybe you bring in Norv Turner just to hang out with his son as a head coach for a little bit. Just an idea, just a thought. So it's a gamble, but I think it's one worth trying. At number 1 on my list, part of a very long list of potential assistant coaches that make some sense, I think, for UNLV, That is Utah's defensive coordinator, Morgan Scalley, Scally. God, I wrote it down and still got it wrong. Former Utah player, has spent his entire career there. He is a Utah guy through and through. 4th year now as the Utah defensive coordinator. Which obviously Morgan wants the Utah head coaching job. Like that's his dream job, right? To be the head coach at your alma mater, where you're the DC right now. That's perfect. What if he has success though at UNLV and then just jumps over once Kyle Whittingham leaves? Wouldn't that set himself up for success? Now, maybe he just wants to wait and try and do the coach in waiting thing, but who knows how long that could take. So I think Morgan could be a great get for UNLV if they can get him. I don't think it's a sure thing that he leaves Utah this year. So who should UNLV hire as their head coach? Let me know in the comments section. I know I left a lot of names off this list. Guys like Matt Canada. You can go with Larry Fedora, Bo Baldwin. Heck, Rich Rod could even be a potential fit here. A lot of names make sense for UNLV, so let me know in the comments section who you think they should hire. Bonus points if you make me look up the guy's name, since we are talking about UNLV, and there are a bunch of other FCS coaches who could fit for UNLV.